Reproduction in plants. Living organisms do not live forever. They grow, age, and eventually die. To ensure that their species continues to exist, they need to reproduce. The process by which organisms produce new individuals of their own kind is called reproduction. Plants also increase in number through the process of reproduction. Let us understand the life cycle of plants and different modes of reproduction. Plant life cycle. The plant life cycle shows the growth, development, and reproduction of a plant. In seed plants, it usually begins with a seed, which contains a tiny baby plant called an embryo. However, non-seed plants like ferns and mosses reproduce with spores instead of seeds. When a seed gets the right amount of air, water, and warmth, it grows into a small plant called the seedling. The seedling develops into a young plant with small leaves. After some time, it becomes a mature plant that produces flowers. Flowers change into fruits, and these fruits contain seeds. These seeds grow into new plants of the same kind under favorable conditions. The series of stages through which a plant grows from a seed to a seedling and then to a mature plant that forms new seeds is called the life cycle of a plant. What is pollination? Pollination is the process in which pollen, tiny particle produced by flowers, is transferred from one flower to the other. Some insects, such as bees, visit flowers because they are attracted to their bright colors and sweet fragrance. And while doing so, they carry pollen from one flower to another. This process helps plants reproduce. Reproduction from seeds. Seeds. A seed is the part of a plant that can grow into a new plant. Seeds are also an important source of food for us. Some fruits have only one seed in them, while others have many seeds. If you cut an apple or an orange, you will find seeds inside it. A seed can be a pip, like in an apple, or a nut, like in a walnut. Grains like wheat, rice, and gram are all seeds. Different plants have seeds of different shapes and sizes. Some seeds like tomato, carrot, onion, and mustard are small, while the seeds of mango, coconut, and pumpkin are big in size. Do you know? Coco de More, or sea coconut, is the largest and heaviest seed in the world. Structure of a seed. A seed consists mainly of three parts. Seed coat. The outer covering of the seed is called the seed coat. It protects the seed until the conditions are favorable for germination. Cotyledons. Inside the seed coat, seed leaves or cotyledons are present. The cotyledons provide food to the embryo. Embryo. Between the seed leaves, the embryo baby plant is present. It has a small shoot called the plumule and root called the radicle. The embryo grows into a new plant. Types of a seed. Seeds can be of two main types. In wheat, rice, and maize, the seeds have only one cotyledon, and they are called monocotyledons or monocot seeds. In some seeds like grams, beans, and peas, there are two cotyledons, and hence they are called dicotyledons or dicot seeds. Seed germination. The development of seed into a seedling and then into a plant is called seed germination. A seed needs water, air, and the right amount of warmth to germinate. Sunlight provides the warmth to help the seed grow into a new plant. Water softens the seed coat so that the baby plant can break open the seed coat and come out and grow into a seedling. Stages of germination. The seed absorbs water and warmth, which softens the seed coat and activates the embryo inside. The developing embryo gets its food from cotyledons. The seed coat breaks open and a small root called the radicle emerges. The root grows downwards due to gravity and the cotyledons are pulled upwards. The first true leaf emerges from the plumule and starts developing the shoot, which eventually produces the stem and leaves. The shoot grows upwards due to sunlight. The leaves develop completely and the cotyledons begin to dry out. The shoot produces more leaves and branches, forming a seedling young plant. The cotyledons eventually fall off or disappear. At this stage, germination is complete and the plant continues to grow using sunlight, air, water and nutrients from soil. Lab Corner. Aim: to find out the conditions necessary for the germination of seeds. Materials required: 4 plates numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4. Dry gram seeds, a beaker filled with water, moist cotton, a refrigerator and a window sill. Procedure. Step 1. Take some dry gram seeds. Put some seeds in plate 1 and keep the plate on a window sill where it can get air and sunlight. Step 2. Put some seeds in plate 2 and keep it in a beaker containing water. Now keep the beaker on the window sill. Step 3. Put some seeds in plate 3 and keep plate 3 inside a refrigerator. Step 4. Put some seeds soaked on moist cotton in plate 4. Keep the plate on the window sill. Maintain the moisture of the cotton continuously. Observation. After 4-5 days, you will notice that only the seeds in plate 4 have germinated. Conclusion. This shows that air, moisture, water, and warmth, sunlight, are the conditions necessary for the germination of seeds. Dispersal of seeds. Plants produce many seeds to grow new plants. If all the seeds fall on the ground near the parent plant, they may not get enough space, food, water, and sunlight to grow properly. Therefore, seeds need to be spread over a large area to get suitable conditions and grow into adult plants. The process by which seeds are scattered away from the parent plant is called the dispersal of seeds. To ensure the growth of plants, nature helps the seeds to be dispersed by various external agents like wind, water, insects, birds, and animals. Let us study about these agents of seed dispersal in detail. Dispersal by wind. Seeds of some plants are small, flat, dry, and lightweight, and they often have hair or wings. These features help the seeds to be easily carried away by the wind to distant places. For example, seeds of madar tree and dandelion are hairy. When the flower of dandelion dies, the seed head becomes a mass of seeds with hairy structures which act as parachutes, helping the seeds disperse through the air. Seeds of cotton plants have fluffy fibers which help them float in the wind. Similarly, the seeds of the maple tree have wing-like structures that allow them to spin and fly away from the parent plant. Dispersal by water. Seeds of plants that grow near or in water bodies are dispersed by flowing water. These seeds are light, hollow and fibrous, which help them float on the water. For example, coconut has a thick fibrous coat that helps it float for thousands of kilometers across seas and oceans. The fruit of the lotus is spongy and floats freely on water. Similarly, water lily also uses water to scatter its seeds. Dispersal by animals. Animals and birds eat different fruits and sometimes the seeds come out undigested in their droppings. Humans also eat fruits like cherries, mangoes and watermelons, etc. and disperse the seeds as these remain undigested even after being eaten. When seeds get right conditions, they germinate. For example, seeds of cocklebur, pupalia, xanthium and castor plants have hooks and spines. These seeds get stuck to animals or human clothing and get dispersed when the animals or humans move to different places. Squirrels bury nuts in different places to eat later, and this also helps in the dispersal of seeds. Dispersal by explosion. In some plants, the pods burst open when ripe and the seeds are thrown far away from the parent plants. Peas, beans and balsam are examples of plants that use this method of seed dispersal. Reproduction from other parts. Some plants reproduce from parts other than seeds like roots, stems and leaves. This is known as vegetative reproduction. Reproduction from roots. Carrots, radishes and sweet potatoes are examples of plants whose roots can give rise to new plants. If we cut the top part of the root and plant it in a suitable environment, it can sprout new roots and grow into a whole new plant. Reproduction from stems. Plants like potato, ginger, onion, sugarcane, and rose reproduce through stems. Potatoes have buds on them, which are known as eyes. Any portion of the potato that contains an eye can grow into a new plant. Similarly, if we take a stem cutting of a rose plant, bougainvillea, or a money plant containing buds and plant it in the soil, it will develop roots and grow into a new plant. Do you know? The stems of a strawberry plant grow horizontally and form roots at regular intervals, producing new plants.
Reproduction from leaves.
Plants like bryophyllum and begonia can reproduce through their leaves. The notches on the edges of bryophyllum leaves contain small buds that can grow into new plants when they come in contact with the soil. Similarly, the fallen leaves of begonia plants can also develop buds that grow into new plants under suitable conditions. Reproduction from spores. Some plants like ferns and mosses do not produce flowers. These are called non-flowering plants. They reproduce using spores, which are tiny, round structures. The spores spread out and grow into new plants. They can survive for a long time in unfavorable conditions. Crops. Plants grown in large numbers to obtain food and other useful products are called crops. The practice of growing crops for our use is known as agriculture or farming. Different crops grow in different seasons and require different climatic conditions and soil to grow well. According to the season they are grown in, crops are categorized as Kharif crops, the summer season crops, June to October, like rice, maize and jute. Rabi crops, the winter season crops, November to April, like wheat, barley, mustard and gram. Do you know? Hydroponics is a method of growing plants without soil. Stages involved in crop production. Different stages of crop production in agriculture are as follows. Preparation of the soil by plowing. Before sowing seeds, the soil needs to be prepared. The field is plowed to loosen the soil for the circulation of air and the penetration of water. This process of loosening the soil using a plow is called plowing. Sowing seeds. After preparing the soil, healthy and good quality seeds are carefully sown. They are placed at the right depth and distance to ensure proper growth. This can be done manually or with the help of machine called a seed drill. Adding manure or fertilizers. When crops are grown year after year, the soil becomes less fertile. To restore fertility, manure or fertilizers are added before sowing. There are two main types of fertilizers. Manure is a natural fertilizer made from cow dung and the remains of dead plants and animals. Chemical fertilizers are man-made and produced in factories, for example, urea. While manure is more environmentally friendly, excessive use of chemical fertilizers can harm both the crops and the soil. Irrigation. The crops need regular watering to grow healthy. Watering the crops at regular intervals is called irrigation. Protection of crops. The growing crops are protected from pests and insects by spraying pesticides and insecticides. Farms are also fenced to keep goats and cows out of the fields. Harvesting. When the crops are fully grown, they are cut and collected. This process is called harvesting. It can be done manually using sickles or with the help of machines called harvesters. Storage and transport. After harvesting, the crops are stored in a dry, well-ventilated and safe place, such as granaries and silos, to protect them from germs and pests. Perishable crops like fruits and vegetables are transported quickly to prevent them from spoilage. Key words. Seed coat, outer covering of a seed. Cotyledon, the part of the seed that stores food for the baby plant, embryo. Dicots, seeds with 2 cotyledons. Monocots, seeds with 1 cotyledon. Germination, development of a seed into a new plant. Dispersal of seeds, the scattering of seeds by agents like wind, water, birds or animals. Pesticides, chemicals used to kill pests. Harvesters, Machines used for harvesting crops. Kharif crops, the summer season crops. Rabi crops, the winter season crops. Let's recall. Reproduction in plants. Plant life cycle. Reproduction from seeds. Reproduction from other parts. Crops. Plant growth, plant development, plant reproduction. Seeds. Structure of a seed, seed germination, dispersal of seeds, by wind, by water, by animals, by explosion. Roots, stems, leaves, spores. Preparation of the soil by plowing, sowing seeds, adding manure or fertilizers, irrigation, protection of crops, harvesting, storage and transport.